Welcome back to My Hero Academia Anime Review Episode 152. This one I'm discussing the newest episode of the series, Episode 130, Wrong Way Put Out a Fire, and the newest Japanese manga. Yeah, I almost forgot there was a new chapter released. Now, this episode is from chapters 301 to 303. Yes. Now, in the case of basically what happens this episode, well, the best way you can definitely describe this episode is that Patrick Stoll does a lot of heavy lifting in this episode because he has the most dialogue. This whole episode is probably as high as amount of dialogue he's had in many episodes. And by the way, we are getting very close to wrapping up the Paramount work. We're technically in the aftermath, but we have basically about one more episode left to go. And then move on to the presumably the final arc adapted for the season, the Dark Hero arc. So we start off basically of how Endeavor met his wife. Through the whole arranged marriage, the quirk marriage thing, like apparently she went along with it because basically we get our family status restored. The father's like, no problem. He's number 2 superhero. Aim becoming number 1. And Trey Flowers, and the reason why he agreed to marry her, just basically make a very powerful child. That was the purpose of marriage. And she gave him 4 children. You would have thought 3, but actually it was 4 because the whole thing with Toya. Yeah, they reveal a little bit more about Toya, aka Dobby's backstory, where he tried to impress his father. Apparently he has his father's quirk, but physically he's like his mother. You're thinking, really? Yeah, really. And that's the reason why he looks that way, because of all the burn marks he has. So we see Dobby a couple times in the episode where he's basically gloating what he did. And also see him crying blood. Yep. If you're curious what happened to his tear ducts, he says he burned them out years ago. So we get a little more detail exactly about Toya, where he's like trying to train, but his body's not there. Is basically the capable of holding his quirk. Training by himself gives him more injuries. His father doesn't want anything to do with it. At one point, see in the episode something that's not from the manga is basically Endeavor grabbing his wife's shirt. That is completely made it for the anime. Now you might be thinking, has Endeavor ever been physically abusive toward his wife or his children? No. He may have been sort of verbally abusive toward his wife, but he never actually hit his wife the entire time. He never once did it. It was all over Elwer's oldest son. Yeah, so great backstory here. Greatly explained, and it goes basically in detail and a little bit more leading up to what happened to Toya's disappearance, aka supposedly his death, but he was really alive. And after like revealing the whole thing with Ray, Endeavor's wife, basically the whole thing of like he can't exactly like go what happened with their son, and then of course then we have Hawks and Bastian's coming, and of course they mention the whole thing about talking about all for one, like one for all, and that was something that Endeavor's daughter basically overheard. And Endeavor knows the secret behind that, or at least the name, Deku. So we see them afterwards have the conversation, which they agree to work together to take down the remaining villains. They do reveal in this episode that at least a handful of League of Villains have remained loose, along with 132 members of the Paramount Liberation Front. So we see Bakugo being taken away by Froppy. Yeah, it was like Froppy and like a couple other people. We see Lucy Christian briefly have a couple lines in the episodes of Chaku. And then we have the episode, quite interestingly, with leading into our next episode where everyone's trying to get Deku to wake up, and then we lead into our next episode where Deku's talking to the previous host. Absolute great episode. Love this episode. That was really good. Alright, next up we have the newest chapter of manga, chapter 380, Osush. So, we have Labrabo and Gentle Criminal trying to stop the falling of the UA Academy. And that's pretty much exactly, of course, people are filming it, and that's basically what we got here for the first portion of this. Yeah. Twice is basically trying to blow up the place. Then, of course, Warp Gate comes in. And of course, basically, Eraserhead and President tried to take him on, and he disappeared. Lady Naja basically tries to help out basically Deku. We see that Hawks is trying to take on some other person, slice him with his feather sword. But I forgot to mention Hawks' wings are going back. And then we see something strange happen. We see possibly Hawks dying. Yes, where he's basically blown apart by this villain. And we see him smile, and then he just... Apparently, no, this is actually not him, just an illusion. Caused by Cammy. Yep, Cammy basically helps out here. Yep, and that's because basically that the Sugosu High School has come basically to help out UA Academy, and the guy who kept banging his head on the ground because the whole thing with Dever, like, says he's going to help out, and that's the chapter. Yeah, it's strange though, basically feature a chapter of My Hero Academia and, well, not feature Deku for some reason. Yeah, but definitely a great chapter. Yep. But yeah, that's particularly a particular view. And that's pretty much it for videos tonight. So I'll see you later on for more videos. Will be the first video well, kind of always Saturday, it's alright minute right now. Well, the first video will probably be not Spaceship Shipping. It's probably gonna be Welcome Demon Square. I'm gonna get done the episode here last week and the one here, well, kind of today anyways. Yep. Next video. Bye.